I think the important aspect is we look at how much space that the state will provide us with in the new schools. It is significant more space for the 7-12 grades or the 6-12 grades than what we're going to have in the current high school for the 7-12 under our consolidation. So while we're trying to provide lots of those opportunities, the consolidation is going to have us very tight, both in terms of size of classrooms, which are smaller in the current high school than they would be in the new one. And anyone that's been working from home and having kids learning from home is understanding how space is as precious as you're trying to learn and work. And a little quietness, a little more space versus being on top of each other is very important when you're trying to collaborate with other people in the room working on other things. But, we're doing some of that with collaboration as we consolidate the buildings. But the important part of going to the new is that we get space that's larger classrooms, better designed for collaboration, and more opportunities to blend the arts and sciences and everything else we're trying to do. And it fits at the elementary ranges too. The issue we're going to have at the middle school is that the rooms are, about 650 square feet, where the design for the new school would be about 900 square feet and 1,200 square feet for kindergarten. And squeezing students in the smaller rooms really makes it harder to do that collaborative work, harder to break out into separate ones. And so we're doing it with consolidation, but the facilities really limit what we can do from a collaboration standpoint. I'll go back to mute.
Thank you, Russ. And Stacy, you had mentioned in our chat that you can also comment kind of on being behind the scenes of what that looks like as an educator. Stacy, for those at home that don't know, Stacy is a retired teacher, so has worked in that realm with trying to design curriculum that students will be responsive to. So Stacy, can you also answer the question to how does this respond to those needs?
Right. Hi, thank you. Yeah, I was making comments actually as others were speaking, because I don't want to repeat myself. I can hear feedback from you too, Janelle. So that's just what we're getting used to, right? We're going to do it. Okay, so some of the things that I mentioned that I wrote down and I was in the chat here was specifically I'm hearing universal design for learning, which of course has been a buzzword for a while. The opportunity with the new buildings is grand with how we can really address those things, specifically with children of special needs, but for everyone. That's what UDL is for. It is for everyone. It's universal. And just the physical makeup of the classroom, like Russ was just talking about, the size, the ambiance, we've already tried to address the heating and cooling. That's still something that goes along with the physicality of it. But meeting those children's needs we've talked about furniture, we've talked about desks and tables and cabinetry, and we've talked about space and areas for children to actually do the physical things that they need to do in many cases. Those things could be much more addressed with the newer buildings and with the newer equipment and tools that we could be using. And that goes hand in hand too with having a better laboratories and learning areas for the sciences like you're talking about, and being able to have that incorporation. STEM learning it has been kind of a buzz, of course, and we touch on it. We do what we can with what we have, but I believe this would be somewhere specifically in STEM and STEAM learning, which is what you're talking about, would be much more enhanced and improved because we would have more opportunity to develop that with the curriculum and with the building, because it does go along with the physical nature of the buildings, which people don't realize. My comments that I've made before about collaboration also were specifically coming from teaching, was how, yes, I would be able to work with that specific grade level and a multitude of teachers instead of just maybe my teaching partner. I would actually have a team that I could work with, share resources, share ideas, develop more of the curriculum, and also working with the grades above me and the grades below me, that I could help them and they could help me too. One of my favorite words is resource. So it's people resources, it's physical things, the tools, the building does all incorporate that. And the cross-curricularness, you're leaning into that when you're talking about the science and the arts, but also cross-curricular, we think of one of my approaches that I liked was taking science and teaching other parts of the curriculum through science, teaching the language arts, teaching the math, teaching the art, teaching music, or physical education. So a lot of those things do go in with this when we talk about curriculum and how this would work in this opportunity.
So in kind of quick summary, Stacey, you're talking about being able to remove those silos. It's not just you're learning your multiplication tables, and that's all we're focusing on right now. It's why should we care, which may sound like an impertinent question sometimes when a journalist asks for that. But getting a student to have those light bulb moments, whether it's their algebra and they're trying to figure out a cost to rent out a bowling alley for a party, and how many pizzas do we need, or crossing over between different lesson plans so that it's an inclusive or a rounded education.
Oh, of course, and also learning to the child and to the child's modalities, using the child's modalities, their sensory learning and interest learning. Interest learning is the key to having that engagement with a child, and I truly believe that in these types of settings, you're going to create more engagement. They're going to have more opportunity, obviously, themselves to have the physical space, like I said, which we do understand can improve or deter, as Russ was saying, a child's learning environment. So I absolutely believe that this will help with the individual learner and will create more differentiation too.